America is one of the richest nations in the world. Yet millions of Americans are struggling just to afford the basics: a home, groceries, healthcare, and the chance at a better future. Why? Because the gap between the wealthy and everyone else is growing faster than ever. Wages aren't keeping up. Costs are skyrocketing. And the American dream is becoming harder to reach. Today, we break down exactly why economic inequality is rising, how it affects everyday families, and what must change to build a fairer future. Part 1. The growing gap. Why inequality is getting worse. Let's start with the big picture. For decades, the top earners in America have seen their wealth explode, while the middle class shrinks and the working class struggles. The top 1% owns more wealth than the entire middle class combined. A CEO pay has grown over 1,200% since the 1970s, while worker wages barely moved. A full-time job no longer guarantees financial security. This imbalance isn't accidental. It's the result of policy choices, economic shifts, and rising living costs that hit ordinary families the hardest. Part 2. Wage stagnation. Why hard work isn't enough anymore. People often say, just work hard. But here's the truth most Americans feel every day. Wages have not kept up with costs for nearly 40 years. A minimum wage hasn't risen at the federal level since 2009. Even many college graduates feel stuck in low-paying jobs. Productivity is at a historic high, but workers aren't getting the reward. A family working 2 or even 3 jobs still struggles to pay rent, childcare, or medical bills. People are working harder than ever, yet feeling more insecure than ever. Something is broken. Part 3. The housing crisis, where affordability has collapsed. Housing is supposed to be a basic need, but today it's a luxury for millions. The average rent in many cities has reached record highs. Home prices are rising far faster than wages. Young Americans feel they may never own a home. Families are forced to downsize, move to cheap estates, or live paycheck to paycheck just to keep a roof overhead. This is creating a new reality: rent-burdened adults, stressed families, and delayed dreams. Part 4. Student debt, the weight holding back a generation. For decades, young Americans were told, go to college. It's your ticket to success. But instead, millions ended up drowning in debt. Over 43 million Americans carry student loans, and many pay for decades, sometimes more than their mortgage. Debt delays marriage, home buying, having kids, and financial stability. Education should build opportunity, not trap people in lifelong payments. Part 5. The cost of living. Why Americans feel constant pressure. Inflation has hit families in every direction. It's not just one thing, it's everything. Groceries, gas, utilities, childcare, healthcare, insurance, rent, or household goods. Part 6. The ripple effect on American life. Economic inequality doesn't just affect bank accounts, it affects lives. Families are more stressed. Young people feel hopeless. Communities are struggling to survive. People delay buying a home, having children, starting a business, saving for retirement, getting medical care, pursuing dreams. It is reshaping what it means to live and grow in America. Part 7. What needs to change? Solutions. The good news? These problems can be fixed if we act. Here's what experts recommend. 1. Raise and modernize wages. A living wage aligned with real cost of living. 2. Expand affordable housing. More construction, rent protections, and fairer policies. 3. Reform student loans. Lower interest, realistic repayment, and cheaper education options. 4. Control essential costs. Reduce healthcare and childcare expenses, 2 of the biggest financial burdens for families. 5. Support the middle class. Tax reforms and social support that help working families, not just the wealthy. 6. Strengthen job opportunities. Vocational training, skilled trades, and modern education pathways. Part 8. Final message: emotional ending. Economic inequality is not just a statistic. It's the daily reality of millions of Americans fighting to survive. while hoping for something better. If we want a stronger, fairer America, we must listen to the struggles of working people and make 2026 a year of real change. Because every family deserves dignity, every child deserves opportunity, and everyone deserves a future they can afford. How we can fix these issues in 2026 and build a better life. America's economic struggles, inequality, high living costs, stagnant wages, and debt are not impossible problems. They can be solved with the right policies, the right mindset, and the right daily habits. Here's a full breakdown. Part 1. System-level solutions. What America must do in 2026. These are the national changes needed to reduce inequality and improve life for families. 1. Raise the standard of living. Why it matters. The cost of living has risen, but wages haven't. A living wage helps families survive with dignity. What needs to happen? Increase federal minimum wage. Incentives for states to adopt region-based living wages. Require big companies to tie wage increases to profit increases. Impact. More families escape paycheck-to-paycheck stress. 2. Affordable housing reform. Why it matters. Housing is the biggest monthly expense for most Americans. What needs to happen? Build more affordable homes and apartments. Offer tax credits for first-time buyers. Regulate extreme rent hikes. Convert empty commercial buildings into housing. Impact. More families can afford stable homes and avoid long-term debt. 3. Fix student debt and make education accessible. Why it matters. Millions are stuck under massive loans that delay life goals. What needs to happen? Lower interest rates on federal student loans. Cap repayment at a percentage of income. Increase scholarships and community college funding. Expand trade schools and online education. Impact. Young Americans can build futures without drowning in debt. 4. Lower healthcare and childcare costs. Why it matters. These are the two expenses that push families into financial crisis. What needs to happen? Expand healthcare subsidies. Encourage competition between insurance providers. Increase support for childcare centers. Offer tax credits for new parents and working families. Impact. Families save thousands every year. 5. Support small businesses and skilled jobs. Why it matters. Small businesses are the backbone of American opportunity. What needs to happen? Provide tax breaks for small businesses. Expand skilled trade programs, plumbing, welding, tech trades. Promote remote work and hybrid job opportunities. Invest in local economies, not only major corporations. Impact. More stable jobs, stronger communities, and a thriving middle class. 6. Reduce the wealth gap. Why it matters. The middle class needs rebuilding. Inequality is destabilizing society. What needs to happen? Tax loophole closures for the ultra-wealthy. Fairer corporate tax structures. Programs that support home ownership and retirement savings. Impact. Fairer distribution of opportunity and long-term stability. Part 2. Individual solutions. How YOU can improve your life in 2026. Even while the system slowly improves, individuals can take powerful steps to protect themselves and build a better future. 1. Build a recession-proof skill set. The economy is changing. Skills are the new currency. Learn high-demand, low-cost skills such as coding basics, digital marketing, video editing, sales, always in demand, project management, AI tools and automation, trades, electrician, HVAC, plumbing. Why it matters. Strong skills equals job security plus higher income plus independence. 2. Create multiple income streams. Relying on one job is risky. Build small second incomes. Freelancing, online services, digital products, driving apps, rental income, even room rental, reselling, YouTube or content creation. Even $200-500 extra per month changes a family's stability. 3. Take control of spending. Not by deprivation, but by smarter prioritizing. Focus on cutting impulse buying, reducing subscription traps, planning monthly budgets, buying in bulk, cooking at home more often, using cash for daily expenses. Result: more savings without losing lifestyle happiness. 4. Build an emergency fund. Start small. Even $5 per day builds a safety cushion over time. Aim for 3 months of expenses, even if it takes 2 years to build. This one habit reduces stress, fear, and financial chaos. 5. Improve mental health while managing stress. Economic hardship affects emotions too. Try meditation apps, talking to someone you trust, reducing social media consumption, walking 20 to 30 minutes daily, sleep discipline, stoic thinking, controlling what you can. A strong mind makes you unbeatable in tough times. 6. Strengthen family and community support. In hard times, people survive through networks. Build closer ties with neighbors, friends, community groups, religious groups, local support programs. Human connection is one of the strongest tools against economic struggle. Part 3. A better life in 2026. What it looks like. If both system-level actions and personal habits improve, Americans can experience affordable homes, better wages, lower stress, less debt, more opportunity, stronger families, healthier lives, a greater hope for the next generation. 2026 can be the year. America rebuilt the middle class and gave families hope again. Final message: motivational. 2025 was difficult, but it does not define our future. If citizens push for fairer policies, if families adopt smarter habits, if communities support each other, America can absolutely rebuild a stronger, healthier, more affordable life for everyone in 2026. No family deserves to feel hopeless. No child deserves a future limited by money. And no American should struggle alone. Together, one choice at a time, we can fix what's broken.